The sound of splintering wood echoed through my small bakery as Marcus kicked down the front door, his designer shoes making quick work of the hand-painted sign I'd spent weeks perfecting. Behind him, his three friends laughed, their expensive watches glinting in the afternoon sun. "Really, Sophia? This is what you've been wasting Dad's money on?" Marcus gestured around my shop with exaggerated disgust. "A pathetic little bakery in the wrong part of town? My name is Sophia Blackwood, and at 29, I was watching my older brother destroy everything I'd built over the past year. The display cases filled with carefully crafted pastries, the vintage decor I'd handpicked from flea markets, the warm atmosphere I'd created. All of it meant nothing to him." "That's mahogany, Marcus," I said calmly, though my hands shook as I gripped the counter. "Dad's money went into your hedge fund, remember? This place is all mine." He snorted, running a finger through the fresh powder sugar on a tray of just-finished bayonets. "Please, a Blackwood serving coffee and pastries like some common waitress? You're embarrassing the family name." One of his friends, Tyler, I think they all look the same in their matching suits, picked up a croissant and crushed it. "Looks like amateur hour to me, Marcus. Didn't you say your sister went to business school?" "Dropped out," Marcus corrected, his smile cruel. "Couldn't hack it, could you, Soph? Had to settle for playing baker instead." I watched them destroy my work, remembering the real reason I'd left business school. The mysterious withdrawal from my trust fund that had forced me to drop out, which had later traced back to Marcus's investments. He thought I didn't know, thought I'd never figured it out. "You need to leave," I said, pulling out my phone. "I'm calling the police." Marcus laughed, the sound sharp and hollow. "The police? What are you going to tell them? That your big brother came to talk sense into his delusional sister?" He picked up a framed review from the local paper, my first positive press, and dropped it, glass shattering across the floor. "Besides," he continued, "Dad agrees with me. This little experiment of yours needs to end. You're coming back home where you belong." I thought about the folder hidden in my office safe, the one containing every document, every transaction, every piece of evidence I'd gathered over the past year. Marcus had no idea I'd been watching, waiting, documenting everything. "And if I refuse?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. Marcus's smile turned predatory. "Then maybe something unfortunate happens. Small businesses fail all the time, don't they, boys? Health code violations, electrical problems, mysterious accidents." His friends murmured in agreement, already starting to tip over tables and chairs. The morning's fresh bread scattered across the floor, hours of work destroyed in seconds. "You have until the end of the week," Marcus declared. "Close this embarrassment down, or we'll close it for you." He turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, and Sophia, don't bother running to Dad. Who do you think sent me?" After they left, I surveyed the damage. Broken glass, destroyed pastries, overturned furniture. It would take hours to clean up. But as I picked up a shattered picture frame, I felt something other than despair. I felt ready. My phone buzzed with a text from Maya, my best friend and secret weapon. "Security cameras got everything. Audio's crystal clear, ready when you are." I smiled, thinking about the hidden cameras I'd installed months ago, after the first time Marcus had visited to express his disapproval. Every threat, every act of vandalism, all caught on high-definition video. Another text came through, this one from Daniel, my contact at the SEC. "Files received. Your brother's been busy. Meeting tomorrow?" Marcus thought he was so clever, using Dad's company to hide his illegal trades, skimming from family trusts, manipulating accounts. He never imagined his quiet little sister would be capable of tracking it all, building a case that would bring down not just him, but the entire corrupt empire he'd built. I began cleaning up, carefully documenting each piece of damage. My customers would be disappointed tomorrow, but this would be the last time Marcus ever touched my business. "Need help?" Maya appeared in the broken doorway, her face grim as she took in the destruction. "Actually," I said, straightening up, "I need you to set up that meeting with the food critic from the Times, the one you've been holding off on." She raised an eyebrow. "You sure? I thought you wanted to wait." "No more waiting. Marcus wants to shut down an embarrassment?" I smiled, thinking of the recipes locked in my safe, the ones our grandmother had left me. Not him, not Dad, but me. Let's show him what this embarrassment can do. I stepped over the broken glass to retrieve my laptop from the office. On the screen was an email I'd drafted months ago, waiting for exactly this moment. Subject line: "Evidence of securities fraud at Blackwood Investments. Time to make some calls. I told Maya, hitting send. My brother thinks he's shutting down a little bakery. He has no idea he just started a war. Marcus had always underestimated me, seen me as the family failure who couldn't handle the corporate world. He never understood that leaving business school wasn't about failing, it was about choosing a different path, one that would ultimately lead to his downfall. I looked around my destroyed shop, already planning its resurrection. Marcus thought he was teaching me a lesson about staying in my place. Instead, he was about to learn one about underestimating the wrong person. The war for the Blackwood legacy was about to begin, and for once I had all the ingredients for success. The next morning, I opened my bakery as usual but with a twist. The broken door and vandalized interior became part of my story. I placed a sign outside. Closed for indoor seating, but our spirit can't be broken. All pastries 50% off. Served through our new sidewalk window. The response was immediate. My regular customers, seeing the damage, spread the word. By noon, the line stretched around the block. Everyone wanted to support the small bakery that refused to be bullied. Local news vans arrived by early afternoon. Miss Blackwood, a reporter asked, microphone extended, "Can you tell us what happened?" I gave her my carefully prepared response. Just an unfortunate incident, but we're staying open. Our customers deserve their daily dose of happiness, broken door or not. What I didn't mention was my morning meeting with the SDC investigators. Daniel had been thorough in his review of the documents I'd provided. "Your brother's been running quite a scheme," he'd explained, spreading files across my office desk. Fake accounts, manipulated trading records, misappropriated funds. The evidence is overwhelming. My phone buzzed. Marcus calling again. I let it go to voicemail, just like I had his previous 20 calls since last night's email went out. Maya burst into my office, grinning. "You're trending locally on social media. Hashtags of a Sophia Bakery is taking off." I smiled, checking the security cameras that showed the growing crowd outside. "Perfect. Is everything ready for tomorrow?" "The Times food critic is confirmed for 9 a.m., she nodded. "And the TV segment about resilient local businesses airs tonight." Just then, my father stormed through the broken door, his face red with fury. "Sophia, what have you done?" I met his gaze calmly. "Hello, Dad. Would you like a croissant? They're still warm." "Don't play cute with me," he snarled. "Marcus told me about your ridiculous accusations. Securities fraud? Have you lost your mind?" I pulled out my grandmother's old recipe book, the one she left me in her will, the one that had made Dad and Marcus so angry. "No, Dad. I finally found it." Opening the book, I showed him what was hidden in its pages. Not just recipes, but documents, records. Our grandmother had been keeping track of everything. "Grandma wasn't just the family baker," I said quietly. "She was the company's first accountant. She knew what you and Marcus were doing. She left me this book because she knew I'd understand what it meant." The color drained from his face. "Sophia, the SEC has everything, Dad. Every transaction, every fake account, every client you and Marcus defrauded." I closed the book carefully. "Grandma taught me more than just baking." He slumped into a chair, suddenly looking old. "You'll destroy this family." "No," I corrected him. "You and Marcus did that. I'm just bringing the truth to light." As if on cue, Maya appeared with a tablet showing breaking news. "Blackwood Investments under federal investigation. Billions in client funds questioned." Dad's phone started ringing. He looked at me, a mix of anger and something else. Respect, maybe, in his eyes. "You planned this," he said. "The bakery, the public attention, the timing. You're more of a Blackwood than I thought." "I learned from the best," I replied, "just not in the way you and Marcus expected." He stood slowly, straightening his tie. "Your brother will never forgive you for this." "I'm not looking for forgiveness," I said, turning back to my work. "I'm looking for justice. And maybe a good Yelp review." After he left, I watched through the security cameras as reporters swarmed him. The story was breaking faster than even I'd anticipated. Marcus's threats to shut down my embarrassing bakery had given me the perfect opportunity to launch my carefully planned exposure of their crimes. My phone buzzed again. A text from Daniel. "Federal agents just arrived at Blackwood Investments. Marcus is being brought in for questioning." I showed Maya the message. "Ready for phase 2. She grinned, pulling out a stack of papers. "The lease agreements for 3 new locations are ready to sign. And that recipe you've been working on? The one you called the Blackwood Redemption." I nodded, thinking of the special dark chocolate and cherry pastry I perfected, bitter and sweet, just like revenge. Time to show them what a real Blackwood business looks like. Outside, the line of customers had grown even longer. News cameras captured every moment as I worked, serving pastry through the broken door with a smile. Every bite spread the story. The small bakery that stood up to corporate bullies, the sister who chose flour over fraud, the baker who proved success comes in many flavors. Marcus had wanted to shut down what he saw as an embarrassment. Instead, he'd given me the perfect launch pad for expansion. While he faced federal investigators, I was becoming the face of resilient small business success. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold, it's served fresh from the oven, with a side of justice. 3 months later, I stood in my new flagship store, watching the morning sunlight stream through floor-to-ceiling windows. The space was everything my original bakery had been, but amplified. Warm wooden fixtures, gleaming display cases, and the irresistible aroma of fresh-baked success. The headline in today's business section told the story, from vandalized shop to empire. Sophia's sweet success opens 5th location. Below that was another headline, smaller but equally satisfying. Blackwood investment executives face federal charges. Your brother's sentencing is today, Maya reminded me, arranging our signature pastry, the Blackwood Redemption, in the display case. The dark chocolate and cherry creation had become our bestseller, featured in food magazines nationwide. I know, I said, adjusting my chef's coat. The embroidered logo, a phoenix rising from a whisk, seemed particularly appropriate today. The morning news played quietly on our cafe's mounted TV. Former investment executive Marcus Blackwood arrives at federal courthouse. The footage showed my brother, no longer smirking, being led into the building by federal agents. The bell above the door chimed, and I turned to find my father standing there, looking older than his 60 years. He'd lost weight since the scandal broke, his expensive suit hanging loose on his frame. Sophia, he said quietly, you look well. We're not open yet, I replied, but gestured to a table anyway. Coffee? He sat heavily, his eyes taking in the busy staff preparing for opening, the line already forming outside. I always thought, he paused, collecting himself. I always thought you were wasting your potential here. I placed a cup of our premium roast in front of him, along with a still warm Blackwood Redemption. You thought small meant unsuccessful. Your grandmother, he said, staring into his coffee, she would have loved this place. She does love it, I corrected him. Everything here is built on her foundations, her recipes, her books, her lessons about business and integrity. The TV caught our attention again. In related news, Sophia Blackwood's bakery chain continues its meteoric rise, with stocks in the newly public company trading at record highs. Dad flinched at that. The irony wasn't lost on either of us. While one half of the family faced prison for securities fraud, the other half was legitimately succeeding on Wall Street. The board wants you to take over Blackwood Investments, he said suddenly. After Marcus's sentencing, they think you could restore the family name. I laughed, genuinely amused. They're a bit late. I'm already running a Blackwood business, one that makes people happy instead of making them victims. Maya approached with a tablet, showing me the morning's sales projections. Our new wholesale division was expanding faster than expected, with major grocery chains competing for contracts. Besides, I continued, I'm too busy building my own empire to fix your broken one. The morning sun caught the frame on the wall, that first newspaper review from my original shop, Rescue from the Glass, Marcus had shattered. Beside it hung a photo of Grandma in her own bakery, young and proud, her books visible in the background. She knew, didn't she? Dad asked, following my gaze. About what Marcus and I were doing. I nodded. She documented everything. She just waited for someone who'd use the information the right way. And the bakery? Was it all just a cover? No, I said firmly. The bakery was always the dream. Exposing your fraud was just cleaning house. Outside, the line had grown longer. Food critics, social media influencers, and loyal customers all waiting for their daily dose of what we now called sweet justice. Your brother's lawyer called, Dad said, standing to leave. They're offering a plea deal. Good, I replied, not looking up from the sales reports. He can think about his choices over prison coffee. As Dad reached the door, he paused. You know, in some twisted way, Marcus did exactly what he threatened to do. He shut down that little bakery you had. I smiled, watching my staff prepare for another record-breaking day. No, Dad, he just taught me to build something bigger. After he left, Maya brought over the morning papers. Every business section told the same story. While Marcus faced years in prison, my embarrassing bakery had become a national brand. The little shop he'd vandalized had grown into a corporation worth 10 times what he'd stolen. "Ready to open?" Maya asked, grinning as she saw the crowd outside. I tied on my apron, the one Grandma had left me along with her books and secrets. Time to serve some humble pie. The security camera footage from that night, of Marcus destroying my shop, still played on a small screen near the register. Not to remind me of the damage, but to show how far we come. Below it, a small sign read, "From broken doors come open windows." Marcus had tried to shut down what he saw as a family embarrassment. Instead, he helped launch a legacy that would outlast his crimes. Sometimes the sweetest success rises from the ashes of someone else's attempts to tear you down. And as for that broken door, I kept it, mounted in our flagship store's entrance hall. A reminder that sometimes you have to let them break things, just so you can build something better.